Baba is asking us to sit on the seat of being Trikaldarshi. Now you see that we are the only ones in the whole world who have the knowledge of the three aspects of time. Yes, so we know that our original stage, the stage of the soul, when I am in the soul world, what is it like? It is very powerful. It is a very, seed-like stage where I am a full soul. Although I don't need to express it in action, I'm a complete and full seed in the soul world. And then for 2 ages, Golden Age, Silver Age, you are completely viceless. So just think about it, when you know something, you don't sometimes appreciate how valuable that knowledge is. And if you just acknowledged that nobody in the world knows that we were viceless, or nobody in the world knows what is the condition of being viceless. Does anybody in the world know that? Can anybody ever imagine, even in imagination, can one conceptualize what vicelessness in a living world means? You ask anybody to just think about a world where there's no lust, anger, ego, attachment, greed. And the most beautiful thing is, when Baba tells us about this world, we children remember it instantly, don't we? And I have seen many souls to whom I tried to introduce this reality that there is a world 5,000 years ago where everybody is just viceless. And they scoffed at me and they laughed at me and they said, all this is you people's imagination. So I said, maybe it is, it is not your truth, but it is my truth. And this is what knowledge says, that, souls who come from the copper age, they have never seen and they never see. Do you understand? They repeat that their own part every cycle. And there are, apart from the Satyugi and Treta Yugi souls, nobody, no soul in the world ever sees the world which is completely viceless. And they never have it in their memory. And even if they listen to knowledge, they can never recall that, because you cannot remember what you have never experienced. So that's the thing. Baba says, I don't teach you, I make you remember. So when I teach you, you remember whatever is in your memory that is in consonance with this knowledge. And when Baba tells us, remember Baba, remember your home, and remember your Rajdhani, or remember your world of heaven. And the more you remember your world of heaven, you remember it. Yes, so in Hindi I always say, yaad karte karte yaad aa jayega. So when you keep remembering, you finally remember it. And every time you sit in Buddhi Yoga with your Satyugi stage, you kind of get into touch with how you are as a deity. So what is your viceless condition, and what is your full of virtues condition, and how do you think and talk and walk and eat, and how do you come into connection and relation, how do you do your work in that stage. And this is why Baba says sit in remembrance. So the more you sit in remembrance, the more you come to remembrance. So your Satyugi stage will reveal itself to you. And Baba tells us that we are Trikaldarshi, so we remember what our life was and what our personality was, and how we did everything and how we operated in a viceless world. And we also remember that so Baba gives us the knowledge, and then you appreciate the knowledge and you come to this realization that from the copper age we started acting under the influence of Ravan, and Ravan made us do everything under lust, anger, ego, attachment, greed, and then we created sin, and we created a burden of sin for 63 births. Yes, and sometimes when you tell somebody that you have a burden of 63 births of sin, it feels very bizarre, because life is not that bad. So we are okay, not that terribly in the wrong place, or not that terribly suffering or something. But if you look deeper, it all makes sense to you that we have 63 births of sin. And I remember there was this one Mata, she told me something very nice. She said that I used to wake up at Amrit Vela, and my husband used to tell me that why do you wake up at Amrit Vela, and these people are just brainwashing you, and don't get up at Amrit Vela, and you don't have to torture yourself like this, and this is no spiritual path, and you can get up at 5 also, 6 also. So she said, no, but if you don't get up at Amrit Vela, you can't get God's blessings, because Baba is there, nurturing us, sustaining us at Amrit Vela. So the husband kept arguing, and then she said, okay, I will stop doing Amrit Vela, but you have to take the challenge of doing Amrit Vela for 21 days. For 21 days, you do Amrit Vela and you show me that it's not a big deal. And then the husband says, oh, what is the big deal in that? I will show you. I'll get up every day at Amrit Vela and I'll show you how you do Amrit Vela. So he got up the first day, and for the next 7 days he tried, he couldn't. And then he could easily get up at 5 every day, but he couldn't get up at 4. And then she said that no, you have to get up at 4 and then only the challenge will be accepted. And then he tried for 3 months and then he gave up. And then he said, but why is it so difficult to get up at Amrit Vela? So she said, because you receive Baba's nourishment at Amrit Vela. So he said, but why is it so difficult? So then she told her the whole, knowledge about how there is 63 births of sin, and this sin will stop you from doing whatever Baba tells you. So, you want to conquer lust, you want to conquer, you just want to be disciplined. It's so difficult. Because 63 births of sin doesn't allow your mind to be disciplined, your speech to be disciplined. You can talk sweetly for 6 hours a day, but the 7th hour you end up, not talking sweetly. And then she explained that to him, and he said, okay, so then the husband took the course. And then he told her that, when you said 63 births of sin, I did not like it, and I thought, no, there's not so much burden of sin on us. But now that you're telling me, why are we not able to do these little things? just stay peaceful in every situation. What is the big deal? But you can't. You are, so, just sit in silence and remember Baba. What is the big deal? Why does your mind wander so much? Yes, so Baba is the ocean of knowledge, and you're sitting before the ocean and experiencing peace. It's such a beautiful stage where you're feeling the love and the peace from Baba, and you even get a glimpse of it. But why doesn't your mind stabilize? All because of the 63 births of sin on us. And then Baba says that these sins, when you understand that you have 63 births of sin, which is not a small deal, then you understand that these sins, they reflect in your sanskar. So first thing that the sins do to us is they become part of our sanskars, and so your own mind, your own way of your own habits, your own lifestyle, everything becomes very Kali Yugi, and you find it very difficult to do things according to Srimad. Yes, you intellectually understand. So do you understand that why do we still belong to Baba? Because we intellectually understand that everything that Baba is saying is 100% correct. Yes, and why do we intellectually understand that? Because we have a memory. We have a memory that corresponds to this truth, and we are deity souls. So intellectually you will 100% understand. But then when it comes to application, that is the time you have to face challenge from your burden of sin, which is now your sanskar. Yes, and then every Srimad of Baba becomes difficult. I know there is this one sister, she comes for the class every day, and she comes during the afternoon. Yes, and then whatever you tell her, purity, no anger, remember Baba, belong to Baba, surrender to Baba, she's 100% okay with all of that. And she will agree like, no, I have not seen anybody agree like that to Gyan earlier. So she would nod at everything, and she would say, yes, Didi, this is something that I've always thought, and this is so true, and yes, Baba is saying right things. And then you ask her to come for the morning class, no, she'll sleep. And then once she told me, Didi, why is it that I understand everything? But I just can't get up in the morning. So I said, that is what, you intellectually understand because you are that deity soul. But then you have to work through your sanskars, and that's the difficult bit. So you have to take step by step. So, if you can't get up in the morning, do evening yoga, do night yoga before sleeping. Before going to bed, remember Baba, half an hour, 1 hour. And the more you accumulate yoga power, the more you will have the power to overcome your vicious sanskars. And then in 6 months' time, she started getting up early and coming for the morning class. And then she always tells me that, how do you people have so much patience? You conducted the class for so many days just because I couldn't get up in the morning. And so I said, this is how, Baba helps us, and Baba kind of, supports us on this journey. But the essence is you slowly, gradually transform your sanskars. And then Baba says, when you understand that, when you understand that you have sanskars which are created out of vices, then you also understand that there will be many situations coming from yourself, coming from people, matter, that you will find discomfort in. Yes, and that discomfort is not because of the situation, that discomfort is because of the situation plus your sanskar. Yes, is it not? Do you understand that it's not the situation, it's the combination of your situation and sanskar that gives you trouble. I remember there was once two matas who came at the same time. They came separate, but they came to the center at the same time. And I was alone, so I attended to both of them together. And then there was one Mata who said, "My husband is very boring. He never goes out anywhere. He would just sleep, 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 and never get up from the bed when there is no office. And I really feel like leaving him because he's not taking me out anywhere, and I feel very disgusted just sitting at home all the time." And there was this another Mata, she said, my husband is only into partying and socializing and going out. And every day he would ask me, dress up, we'll go out, dress up, we'll go out. And I don't like dressing up that much. So I don't want to go out. So they were both these people together sharing the problems, and then they laughed together and they laughed their heart out, and they said, what is a problem for you is a blessing for me. And what is a blessing for you is a problem for me. So this is the way, if you look at it, it is not the situation, it is the situation plus your sanskar. So if you have a sanskar of, always wanting to go out and always wanting to roam around, then you are in a situation where nobody is taking out, it's a problem. And when you have a sanskar of, wanting to meditate and wanting to be quiet and in solitude, and then somebody is always asking you to go out, that becomes a problem. So Baba says that, there are many things, many situations, many feelings, many things that come from inside. You have mood swings, you have, very strong feelings and thought waves which upset you, disturb you many times. There are many things that come from people, or many things that come from matter, and all of these things are upsetting you, disturbing you. But do you know why they are disturbing you? Because you have 63 births of burden of sin. So this is the first thing so we know about our original stage, we are very aware of our burden of sins, and then we understand that this is the time of transition, and whatever I do right now is going to set the tone of my future. Yes, so when you are in Trikaldarshi stage, you know all of this. Okay, you know what is your power, you know what is your burden of sin, and you also know, you're very aware of the responsibility you have towards your own actions, so that you do not deprive yourself of a great future. So you know your capacity, that you can be at your best behavior at the worst times, because that is who you originally are. You are a very powerful, very virtuous, very elevated soul. And then you know that you have sanskars which are disturbing you. It is not the situation, it is your own sanskars that are disturbing you. And you know that with Baba's remembrance, you have to overcome the sanskar, and then you have to not react but respond, so that you don't create further karmic burden, but you settle it and move ahead. So being in complete awareness of all of this is what we call the Trikaldarshi stage. Did you understand? Yes. So When you are in complete awareness of all of this, that is called the Trikaldarshi stage. And when you are in the Trikaldarshi stage, you consider every action properly. So you don't ask, why is this happening to me? Because you know why it is happening to you. Don't you know that? Yes, you know that we have created so many births of sins. So there will be situations, there will be behaviors, there will be many things which I will find uncomfortable, and that is okay. And you also know that you are completely in your power with Baba to overcome this situation, and you are completely in your power to respond and not react. And you have great consideration for your future, birth and sanskar. So you do everything in a very thoughtful, calculated way. So, if you look at the essence of Gyan, then the essence of Gyan is think before you think. And Baba gives you a lot of material which helps you to think before you think, and not react, but take very calculated and considerate steps in the face of every situation. And even, when you're choosing your actions of getting up, sleeping, eating, you are in your Trikaldarshi stage. You're not doing it according to what you feel like, or the availability of it, or the affordability of it. You know that whatever you choose is going to have a bearing on the future. It is going to have a bearing on your future status. So you choose wisely. I remember, there was this one Mata, and she told me that I am not able to overcome attachment. And I said, why? So she said, because people are too nice around me. So she said, my husband is a nice person, my children are nice, everybody is very nice. So how do I overcome attachment? So then I told her, this is what Baba tells us, that don't just get carried away into doing something because you can afford it. So, this is also a very important point of Gyan. Just because you can afford to do vikarma and get away with it in the moment. So don't do it just because of that. Yes, just because you can afford to waste money, don't waste it. Just because you can afford to waste time, don't waste it. Just because you can afford to be attached, don't attach. Because that affordability is going to cost you later. So being Trikaldarshi is being very wise. You are not, you don't do something because you don't react out of things that disturb you, upset you. You don't even choose your actions based on your comfort and emotions, and you don't choose your actions based on your affordability. Because many people think that you should become viceless when you cannot afford to be vicious. Yes, many people think like that if you can't get married, be a BK. So yes, I'll tell you this. There was this one Mata, and she came for the course, and then she told me, I have a neighbor and she's 40, she's never married, so she should become a BK. So I said, you don't become a BK because you're 40 and unmarried. You become a BK because you were a deity soul and you want to be a deity soul. You don't become a BK because you can't afford to be lustful. Do you get it? You don't become a BK because you can't afford to be angry. So there are many people who say that, anyways I have to tolerate. So this Gyan I love because it glorifies tolerating. But no, Baba doesn't tell you to tolerate because you can't shout and scream. Baba tells you to tolerate because you want to tolerate, because you understand tolerating is good. So, some people, they will tolerate when they don't have any other choice. But when they have a choice, they never tolerate. Yes, and I remember there was this one incident where somebody told me that, um, so I saw this behavior pattern where, there's somebody who is getting beaten up every day at home, but in office, they are not listening to even one word from anybody. So in the office, that soul is not taking any nonsense from anybody, shouting back, being very reactive. But at home, that same person is getting beaten up day in and day out, and they are tolerating it. Why? Because they have a mindset that if I walk out of this home, then I will lose face. So, if I end this marriage, then I will lose my reputation. So, you are tolerating it because you think you can't afford to, do otherwise in this situation. But Baba says, no, you tolerate not because you cannot afford to. And if you're tolerating for that, then first don't tolerate, then tolerate. I don't know whether that makes sense. So first you have to use the power to face, because in that moment your tolerating is a vice. It's coming from fear. It's not coming from a place of understanding. So first don't tolerate. Speak up, and then understand that you want to tolerate because Baba is teaching you the value of tolerance, and then tolerate where it's your choice to tolerate. So this is the thing. So Baba tells us that you choose your actions on the basis of Gyan, and on the basis of your aim and objective, and you're on the basis of your love for your future stage, on the basis of love for Baba's Shrimat. You don't choose your actions because something made you uncomfortable, something, so you cannot afford something or can afford something, or you felt like doing it. Don't do all of that. So that is the Trikaldarshi stage, when you are above the limited truth that you are living right now, and you have the whole truth in your awareness of who you really are and what's really going on, and what do you really want out of this situation, and where do you really want to go, and then you choose according to that. That is called the Trikaldarshi stage, and Baba says then you will become powerful and go beyond all adverse situations, because when you operate like this, then slowly, gradually all your karmic account gets settled, and then you will face less and less adversity, and you will ultimately go to the golden age where there will be no adversity. So this is something. And then today Baba also tells us about three things: loss, benefit, and izzat. So Baba's honor. So Baba says you have to think about loss, benefit, and honor. And in what context does Baba say this? Baba says that there are some children who are Baba's children for very long, and still they get smitten by lust, and they act lustfully. And Baba says they don't care about benefit, loss, and honor. And just think about, I remember there was this one person, and they told me that why do you think that lust is a bad thing? So, lust is very normal and okay. So this was a person who was not initiated into Gyan, and they told me that, don't mind me asking, but I just want to know why you people think that lust is a bad thing and lust is not something normal and natural and this and that. So I said, but you also think like that. So he said, no, I don't think like that. So I said, but why is an act of lust always done under covers? And why is that hidden from everybody's vision? Why does everybody make it a point to hide it? And because you understand, and slowly, gradually, when you lose your senses, so you become more and more vicious, then you even start displaying lust because you are completely out of your senses. But then when you are at least partly sane also, you don't perform an act of lust in great visibility to others. Why? Because you understand that it's not something okay. And that's why we always, what do we hide? That which we know is wrong. So you don't do a good act in privacy. You always do a good act, you will display that good act to everybody. So that's an act that you understand is not okay. And Baba says that there are children of Baba who will engage in lust, and there'll be lustful vision and lustful action. And just think about, they know, they are hearing it in the Murli every day, that this is not the chalan or the act of a godly child. And still, when you're doing it, how much of self-honor are you losing? Yes, I'm not even talking about the honor of Baba or something, but just think about how much self-honor are you losing. And can such a soul ever sit in self-honor? Can you have Swaman? So Baba says that if you don't care about honor, if you don't care about benefit, loss, then you keep continuing to do these kind of acts even after coming to Baba, belonging to Baba. And I remember there was this one incident where there was a brother. He told me many things about his life, and then he started coming to the center, and then he had lustful vision for another person in the center. And then when I pointed that out, then he told me that I don't mind, Baba says become egoless, so so why can't I approach another person, even if that person rejects me? I don't mind it because that's egoless. So I said, you have lost it completely. It is not egoless, and you're not here to find partners, and you're not here for this business. And then he started telling me that my mother goes to some satsang and they are always referring engagement proposals for me there, and why can't that happen here? And you see, people come with so many ideas, and Baba tells us that even after very long, this thing doesn't sit in the intellect, that we are here to become pure and create a pure world. So if you are concerned about benefit, loss, if you're concerned about honor, you would never do that. So this is something that Baba tells about purity. And then there is a question. When I hear my Lokik mother's voice on phone, I get very agitated. Even though I don't talk to her properly, she makes sure that She calls me every day, every week. I am not able to be Trikaldarshi. I am accumulating bad karma by shouting at her. I am not able to respond and not react. So you have to think about why you have this antagonistic relationship with that soul. So it's not about your mother or something, but it's a thing about you having some karmic account with that soul, and you have to think about all the things that are in your memory, which you have held in your memory as this my mother did to me. You have that memory where you talk to yourself like this: my mother did this to me, this to me, this to me. And then go back and look at that, look at all those scenes, and come to a place where you understand that your mother didn't do it to you. Your mother was just being herself. She was being, acting according to her sanskar, and you took sorrow according to your sanskar. And when you do that for yourself, then you will be able to drop that which you took. Because if my programming is the other person gave this sorrow to me, then I will always blame that person. But when you understand the other person didn't give any sorrow, the other person behaved according to their sanskar, I took sorrow. And now I have the knowledge and the understanding and the power to let go of the sorrow I took. Then you will understand that it was just about a misunderstanding because you didn't have the knowledge of the soul. So then you will be able to at least listen with respect and respond properly. And in any case, when Baba tells us that you have to be free from the thought of human beings, and when you have attachment or you have hatred, in both these situations, in your last moments you will think about this human being. Okay, so this is the spiritual work you have to do for your Antamate Sogate, that you don't think about your mother in the final moments. Now if you think that she gave you sorrow, you don't want her in the next birth again giving you the same thing. So you have to do this work for yourself so that this cycle doesn't continue. So just understand that she didn't give it, you took it, and you drop it, and do this work for yourself, not for her. Because otherwise you will carry her memory and this karmic account into your next birth also. Okay, Om Shanti.